I was at Genesis, the world's largest Smash Bros. Melee tournament. Because not only is it fun for me, I'm a big Smash Bros. Melee head, but also I get to see a lot of friends that I don't get to see a lot. On the way, I was road tripping with my friends Rachel and Blur. My plan was to backpack stream the car ride from LA up to San Jose. And in that 6-hour car ride, I was going to talk to them about dating in the modern age, because both of them are very actively dating on dating apps, and they have a lot of stories. And so we couldn't get the backpack to work. I'm still gonna probably have them on, but I still had the convo, and I learned so much as someone who has not done the dating apps. I'm married, and me and Ari been dating a long time. So we skipped this whole generation of dating apps, and they gave me so much insight into what it's currently like, and so much how it's changed. Like, for example, there was unanimous agreement that even, for example, Tinder used to be way different. It used to be that there was like a standard of how you talk to people when you were courting them. And then when Tinder started, people just automatically transferred that over. That has completely been dropped. It is so transactional now. They talked me through all the different aspects. Here's a good example. This is one thing I remember that I think would have been super interesting to chat. So Rachel, who was the female perspective, was saying how she finds it frustrating that almost every message she gets on dating apps, it turns sexual so quickly. Like almost every single guy that she'll match with is almost instantly trying to make the conversation sexual. But then Blur, I don't want to put him on blast here. I love Blur, but I was trying to give you a situation of where the man is at right now. He's in good shape. He's got a good living location in LA. He's got a nice house. He has no job right now, and he spends his days basically 24/7 swiping, hooking up with women, or playing video games. That's his entire day, entire week, entire month, entire year. He has a lot of hours under his belt is what I'm trying to get to you. He's got a lot of hours under his belt. What he said was, many men have tried to send normal, nice messages on the app, but they get instantly ignored. You try to say something nice, try something normal, and it just does not work. It's just dead. And so over the time, they get this experience that they have to say something to be interesting. And because being actually interesting is very hard, they often resort to saying something sexual, which even if crass, is at least interesting. The men are trying to do something to stand out, because if they play it normally, they will just get ignored. And I found that to be very insightful on both of their parts, to explain not only a weird thing that's happened on dating apps, but why that might be the case. Not only Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, and I'll be honest with you, I was gonna get to this story later. At one point, Blur, who is not gay, tried Grindr to see what it was like from a male POV from gay men. He just tried it to see what the matches were like. He is catfishing gay people, which is not cool, but it's actually insane the difference. So when the environment is purely male to male, everyone is so straightforward and they're all overtly sexual. The Grindr meta is like every single person opens with a dick pic and a time and place. It's like extremely sexual, extremely all business. There's no even like dancing around it. Sometimes I wish I was into dudes because I'd be getting laid every 5 minutes. That's another thing. I feel like I'm telling his story out of order. He said maybe 5 to 10% of the people he talked to on the app Grindr, he thinks are 100% fully straight dudes who just couldn't figure it out and just want to have sex. This is what he said. The impression I got from this conversation, and this was both with Rachel and Blur, is that dating culture has gotten real fucking shitty. But yeah, a lot of it was about, this is already gonna trigger people. I want you guys to know, this is a pre-trigger warning. Rachel is a tall woman. She's like 5'9" or 5'10". So when she's on the apps looking for dudes, she wants a dude who's taller than her. But she has told me, and this is in a moment of honesty, that if she tells that to people and they aren't the height preference she wants, which by the way, I feel like dudes have physical, genetic-based preferences all the time about big honkers or et cetera, or whatever, hair color, anything, whatever. But if she gives this opinion, it actually makes people like physically angry towards her. She's almost afraid to say it, that she wants a dude who's like 6'1" or whatever, because people who are shorter than that, they get so upset about it, which I thought was interesting. Because obviously I know, like, we do the short kings joke or like whatever, short guy joke or whatever all the time. I never thought of it as something that people got truly upset about, but I haven't seen it from a woman's POV. And she said, yeah, it's a problem. Like, People will they will call you name. They will say a lot of shit about you. People are deeply insecure about it, I think, on a level that I didn't know. There's another thing. The best part of having this conversation with two sides of the dating spectrum in the car was that for every complaint either one of them had, the other one had a possible reason why things have evolved to be that way from the other side. That's what was so interesting. But I think what everyone who complains about the world should understand is that there's probably a good explanation. You know, if you're mad at women, or women, if you're mad at men on dating apps, understand there's a reason the meta has evolved this way. It is mostly normal people acting rationally and being pushed into more weird extreme behaviors because of the market of dating. The meta has become bad. I fully believe dating apps aren't designed to work. If they're too good at their jobs, everyone stops using them, they go out of business. I don't think that the dating apps are sitting on the secret sauce of making true love happen over your phone. I think you're searching for conspiracy when in fact it's a hard problem they didn't solve. Never been on a dating app. I feel if you aren't in college or have a well-paying job, then you're shit out of luck. Well, there's the thing. I think both Rachel and Blur are attractive people. And so I got to get, I think, a decent evidence of like match rate. And my understanding is that for women, you get a higher match rate, just on average. And also I've seen data on this. For men, the match rate is very exponential towards the top end of whatever you would call the attractiveness curve. And attractiveness can also include, for men, also income or things you can do to signify that you have like a higher paying job or whatever. Like, for example, if the woman, Rachel in this case, swiped on somebody, there's a higher chance that they will swipe back and they'll get a match. Versus Blur, who gave a pretty interesting breakdown. He actually could tell with a reasonably good guess, like, if they would swipe back, and the number one factor was ethnicity. Because Blur is non-white, and he said if he sees an attractive Persian woman, for example, 99% chance he gets to swipe back. If he sees an attractive white blonde lady from the South, 0% chance he gets to swipe back. I don't think he encountered any instances of racism, like people messaging him anything racist. But the revealed preferences of people's matches, there. People have revealed preferences for people of their own race, I guess. Tinder stats 2024. Interesting. Asian men, black women are least likely to match on Tinder. Again, I don't want to belabor this point, but I've told this story that one of my groomsmen at my wedding is black, and he married an Asian woman, and her family is pretty racist to him. It's fucked up. I have seen the most overt racism in my life from like old school Asian families. This totally tracks with my lived experience. Black men reported feeling rejected and stereotyped on Tinder, while white men said they've almost preferred. Interesting, because the white men in my chat always fucking talk about how it's impossible. 64.6% of white college students stated that the race of a potential partner on Tinder matters. And this is what they say in a survey. I guarantee it's a higher number than this, if this, because people, the crazy things, what you'll learn about in a survey, people lie. These are good posts of Tinder stats. Let's see. Oh, dear God. 23-year-old female, 30,000 swipes, 26,000 were left swipes. This is her swipes. From a woman's POV, 26,000 men are getting left swiped. 3,600 are getting right swiped. For men, this is like almost an opposite ratio for how much they're sending out in swipes. So of the right swipes, 1,200 didn't match, which is almost a little bit high from my understanding, but so, okay, yes. So 2,400 matches. Of those, half of them, no messages. This is such a shit ROI for time. Then some were one message. Then there was longer combos. Of those, 448 never met up. 5 of 453 long conversations turned into actual dates. That part alone is fucking crazy. 99% of long conversations don't even get a first date. I don't know what her system is. I feel like that's psychopathic. That's very extreme. 1 date, 3, multiple dates, 1, long-term dating, 1. This is only one data point. I want you to know. Again, the interesting thing to me is I have no dog in this fight. Like, to me, I am approaching as a scientist. It feels like it's the cause of a lot of people's dissatisfaction with modern life or disenfranchisement. Yeah. Again, I think like there's things that ground you to society that make you feel like you're part of the larger societal fabric. One of them is being able to buy a house. The other one is being able to like possibly have a relationship and start a family. And both those things I think are becoming more difficult. People are getting either priced out technologied out, grindered out, and it's causing dissatisfaction. And so even though our society is like measurably more rich in many ways, I think people are dropping out of the social fabric because of this. And I find that to be obviously sad, but that's kind of a boring take on it. I'd like to understand it more. And I learned a lot from that conversation, and I'm learning a lot now. This is a person doing Tinder over 3 years, okay? 18, 20-year-old male. Thing is, this is 5 years ago, so take it with a grain of salt. I've heard Tinder has changed a lot in the past 5 years. Like, this is probably out of date data and hard to base anything off of. So 45,000 swipes, still mostly left. 12,000 right swipes, 100, oh my God, the match rate. Holy shit. 12,000 right swipes, 133 matches. 50 of them are bots. Yeah, that's another thing about bots. There was obviously way more bots on the male side. No reply 68, 15 conversations, 10 of which are short, 5 are long. Wait, everything got ghosted? I'm sorry, not one date? I want to see these comments. Maybe this dude's got terrible. This guy's an 18-year-old dude. He probably says poggers. This dude probably has 0 fucking riz, like actually negative fucking riz. I feel like if you get to a long conversation, multiple long conversations, and you can't get one first date out of it, and you live in the same city, that seems crazy to me, but I could be wrong. Victim blaming? Nobody's entitled to sex, by the way. This is where incels come from. Nobody's entitled to sex, but because the math is so bad, there's people who don't feel entitled to sex, who are good people, who aren't like born rich, genetically attractive, and they're just getting kind of fucked by the system. And then because of that, there's normal women who are trying to find people they want to go on dates with and are getting bombarded immediately with overtly sexual messages. You know what I'm saying? Everyone on both sides is dissatisfied. Women are also dissatisfied with the system. It is a both sides dissatisfaction. The takeaway, again, from this conversation was that like things proceed pretty normally. The meta proceeds pretty normally. And then there's outliers. There's a few fucking bad people that will poison the well. For example, people didn't used to ghost as much on these apps, especially if you've had a long conversation or if you've been on one date. But now ghosting is so standard because people have already been ghosted themselves. People have been ghosting so much. And then once you get ghosted, you're more likely to ghost. TBH, I don't think ghosting is bad. I think you're wrong, but I'm excited to hear your opinion. I think there's a certain level of courtesy. If it's first match, first message, ghost all way, king. But especially if you've been on a date, I think you owe somebody a simple message. I think the courtesy of human interaction. The obvious takeaway from this is that people have told somebody, hey, I had a nice time, but I think I'm not interested in dating again. Appreciate you or whatever. And then received like anger. That could be fucked up. But I just feel like if you've been on a date, if you've done an actual date with somebody, to just completely cut them out and say nothing, it just feels so dehumanizing and you wouldn't want it yourself. Blur told you the first message men has to send has to be interesting, but women don't. Yeah. No, that is the fact of it, but you're just mad at the world. Do you understand? I get what you're saying, but you're mad at the situation. And it's like, don't be mad at women. That's the situation. Because they can message hi and you still are excited about the match and want to respond. Whereas the other thing is the other way around is not true. You can't be mad at them if for whatever reason that dynamic was switched and you could message hi and it would work, you would do it too. Just stop judging people for things you would also do, okay? Let's all just admit that we're all humans responding to the meta. Whatever the meta is, we are responding to it. So don't become an incel and start thinking women are fucking inherently evil because they're fucking playing the exact same game, and that's the meta. The meta is fucking Katarina's good mid and they're playing Cat, and you're like, wow, you're fucking playing Katarina? It's so fucking bullshit. Why the fuck are you playing Katarina? It's so lame. It's like, all right, well, she's good right now. It's a good meta. This girl messaged me just meow on Hinge. What should I say? I mean, she's a furry, bro. Get into it. Say arf. Meowdy, partner. Imagine telling your kids this is how you met their mother. That's